Hey, welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Beer School, starring me, Chad, of Chad's Beer Reviews. I will be your teacher, your guide, sensei for the night, I guess you could say. Actually, I don't know what the German word for teacher is. I probably should look that up since we're talking about one of my all-time favorite styles, the German Pils. So 5D German Pils, overall impression, a pale, dry, bitter German lager featuring a prominent hop aroma. Crisp, clean, and refreshing, showing a brilliant gold color with excellent head retention. Comments: modern examples of pills tend to become paler in color, drier and sharper in finish, and more bitter, moving from south to north in Germany, often mirroring increasing sulfates in the water. Now, sulfates are basically just like salts or minerals in the water, just basically a harder water. You have to know that. They will ask you that on the BJCP entrance exam, so know what sulfates are. Pills found in Bavaria tend to be a bit softer in bitterness with much more malt flavor and late hop character, yet still with sufficient hops and crispness of finish to differentiate itself from Munich Helles, which is a 5A. We will cover that one too eventually. The use of the term pills is more common in Germany than Pilsner to differentiate it from the Czech style, and some say to show respect. History: adapted from Czech Pilsner to suit brewing conditions in Germany, particularly water with higher mineral content and domestic hop varieties. First brewed in Germany in the early 1870s, became more popular after World War II as German brewing schools emphasized modern techniques. Along with its cousin Czech Pilsner, it is the ancestor of the most widely produced beer styles today. Characteristic ingredients: continental Pilsner malt, love that stuff. Traditional German hops, clean German lager yeast. So it's actually a pretty simple recipe. Style comparison: lighter in body and color, drier, crisper, and more fully attenuated, which means the yeast ate up more sugars, more lingering bitterness, and higher carbonation than a Czech premium pale lager. Now, it's interesting that they don't call it a Czech Pilsner. Maybe it's an appellation or copyright thing or something, but the BJCP doesn't use the term Czech Pilsner. They call it Czech Premium Pale Lager, a CPPL. More hop character, more malt flavor and bitterness than International Pale Lager. More hop character and bitterness with a drier, crisper finish than a Munich Helles. The Helles has more malt intensity, but of the same character as German Pils. I'm surprised they didn't mention Fest beer on here, because a Fest beer is very, very similar to a German Pils. It's just kind of like a junior Pils, in my opinion. Go back and watch my episode, which actually was the first episode of this show, where we talked about the difference between Fest beer and Marzen. All right, so vitals, we'll go straight to IBUs. 22 to 40, it's pretty bitter for a lager. 2 to 4 SRM, very light in color, which tells you, that it's just basically just straight up Pilsner that's like very, very quickly kilned and dried. It is not deeply toasted or anything like that. And ABV, 4.4 to 5.2%. So technically, kind of sessionable. At least it's not going to be, a challenge to drink at that ABV. And commercial examples, well, the one we're drinking tonight is right on this list here, Paulaner Pils. All right, so I've got the beer in the glass. We're drinking Paulaner Pils. By the way, this is actually a really fresh can. It looks like it was canned on October 26th, so it's like not even a month old. By the way, Paulaner, they just send me beer all the time. I'm on their mailing list. And thanks. I'm not getting paid to promote it, but they send me beer, especially fresh beer. I'm going to make use of it. So thanks to the people at Paulaner for sending me this. Get right into the aroma. Yeah, so I get a lot of Pilsner malt on here. It just smells just like the malt. It doesn't smell like it's been toasted or anything like that. It just smells like you're walking through a field of Pilsner malt. It does have a little bit of a crackery quality, almost like saltines. I would not call it buttery or biscuity or anything like that. And also at the same time, plenty of spicy noble hops. To me, spicy noble hops, like by spice, it's kind of like a rye, almost like a salt and pepper kind of thing too. Not like, chili pepper or anything like that. Yeah, so just the Pilsner malt and the spicy noble hops work really well together. And again, because it's a lager, and also because the BJCP is meant to judge homebrew, is that whenever you're judging a lager, you gotta really dig down there and see if you're getting any diacetyl, acetaldehyde, anything like that. So I'm not getting green apple. I'm not getting butter. I am just getting straight up beer. You know, it's making my mouth water smelling this thing. So yeah, little bit of like a crackery, malty character there, but otherwise just, you know, straight up Pilsner malt and lovely spicy noble hops just in a clean lager fermentation. I mean, well, it's Paulaner. Of course it's going to be like that. Was I right? Let's check the specs. Aroma, moderate to moderately high, flowery. It should say floral, not flowery. Spicy or herbal hops. Yeah, I would say moderately high, spicy hops. Yes. Low to medium, grainy, sweet, or doughy malt character. I don't know if I wouldn't call it doughy, but yeah, grainy, sweet, just like straight up like a sweet kind of grain, almost like a cereal kind of sensation. Often with a light honey and toasted cracker quality. I don't really get honey, but yeah, a little like cracker definitely for sure. Clean fermentation profile, absolutely. The hop should be forward, but not totally dominate the malt and the balance. Yeah, so I mean it's right there for the specs. Let's so for aroma, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna go pretty high. I'm gonna go 10. All right, so appearance. Obviously a pale, like a white gold color. I used to have a card with the SRM colors on it. If you watch one of my older reviews, I used to hold it up right next to the beer. I don't know what happened to it. And when I poured it, obviously the foam did come up to the rim. Also, you can see carbonation just streaming there. Lovely clear color. Let's see what it should be. Appearance, straw to deep yellow, brilliant to very clear with a creamy, long-lasting white head. Yeah, I think this is more of like a foamy head, but yeah. Is there any reason not to give this a 3? I don't know why. If there is, it's because I'm not using like the absolute perfect glass. So, all right, so let's dive in here. Cheers, or prost, as I would say. Pretty tasty beer, huh? I just drank like half the glass on the first swig there. Well, maybe not half, but quite a lot. So, yeah, I will say that it tastes a little sweeter than it smells. Like it smelled just straight up pure Pilsner malt, and I said I didn't get much of like a light honey character. I do get a light honey character in the flavor. I also get like that kind of cracker quality, again, like a saltine cracker, you know, or wheat thin, something like that. And then of course the spicy noble hops come through. Again, like I said on the aroma, it's like kind of like rye, kind of like salt and pepper, you know, something like that. Clean fermentation profile, absolutely. I didn't smell any butter. I didn't smell any green apple or anything like that. And I certainly didn't taste any. Yeah, those hops really come through on the back end as it's starting to finish. Pretty strong bitterness, like on the equivalent of like a pale ale or something like that. Not quite to the IPA. And for a lager, I mean, that's pretty darn bitter. Actually, the hops linger here. It's actually a lovely, you know, that kind of spice kind of sensation. And well, I guess the malt finish is, you know, pretty dry, pretty clean. So it's just a clean, as far as the malt, it's a fairly clean aftertaste. I would not call it starchy, or it's certainly not sweet at all. No. Just in fact, it finishes towards the hops. Get a little bit of like a mineral water quality to it. That might be the sulfates they were talking about. But yeah, to me, this is really delicious, and you know, an easy drinking beer. We'll get to that. In fact, let's get those specs up. All right, flavor. Initial malt flavor quickly overcome with hop flavor and bitterness, leading into a dry, crisp finish. I hate the use of the word crisp. It's kind of vague, because crisp is more about effervescence than flavor. Malt and hop flavors similar to aroma, some same descriptors and intensities. Medium to high bitterness. Yep, I said, yeah, I'd probably call it like medium high bitterness. Lingering the aftertaste along with a touch of malt and hops. Yeah. Yeah, the hops do linger. The malt doesn't really. Clean fermentation profile. Yep, definitely. Mineral water can accentuate and lengthen the dry finish. Hops and malt can fade with age, but the beer should always have a bitter balance. Yes. I'm surprised I didn't mention like the kind of crackery or like the light honey kind of character to it. I mean, you get that on the aroma. This is not a sweet beer. It's not a sweet style of beer, but just for a moment there, like as it hits your tongue, you just get like this kind of like lightly sweet, you know, kind of cereal, kind of, you know, just straight up like barley Pilsner malt flavor. But yeah, otherwise, you know, it's quite hoppy, quite dry, really refreshing. Yeah, lovely, lovely beer. As far as a score on this one, man, it is right there, isn't it? I'm gonna go pretty high again. I'm gonna go 17. Mouthfeel. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. This is only 4.8, so it's not exactly a huge beer. So yeah, the mouthfeel is, I'd probably call it like, I don't think I'd call it straight up light, because when I think light mouthfeel, I think like Bud Light or something like that. But I would say it's like medium light and certainly high carbonation on it. Not quite champagne carbonation, but you know, definitely high carbonation. Definitely refreshing, real easy to drink. I really want another one of these already. We're almost done. But yeah. So yeah, medium light body, high, maybe medium high carbonation. Medium light body, medium to high carbonation, should not feel heavy, not harsh, may have a flinty, minerally sharpness in some examples. Yeah. I mentioned that, you know, the mineral water quality. I think it's just kind of a terroir thing. But yeah, so for mouthfeel, I mean, it's right there. It's, give it a 5 on mouthfeel, overall impression 8. That's a total score of 43. Yeah, I think it's a classic example. I don't know if I'd go straight up to say flawless. I think if you have to have like a 45 or higher to get flawless, I would call it wonderful though. And it's a really good beer. Yeah, so I guess that about wraps it up for this class. Talking about the German Pilsner style. Again, thanks to the people at Paulaner for sending me this can. They also sent me their Munich Helles, which we'll get to probably in a few weeks. So yeah, this is definitely one of the best examples of the style you're going to get, especially if you can get it fresh. All right, so I am rambling as always. You've watched all the way in. You're awesome. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great Thanksgiving and be safe. All right.